Mike, Sean Cunningham, Fox 40. What do you feel is there anything you can do on your end, or do you put anything on your end to try to get Domas different looks, different anything from game one, or do you just kind of let him kind of figure that out on his own?
Yeah, I thought he had some good looks, from the standpoint that they weren't double teaming him. And usually if a team is double team or trapping from here or trapping from there, then you try to, figure something out. But he faced a ton of one-on-one coverage in the last game, and he's just got to go do what he can do. Yeah.
Hi, Mike. You mentioned yesterday that this series is only going to get harder. In what ways is it going to become more and more challenging?
Well, especially with us going up 1-0. I mean, they're the champions. They've been through the fire, many times, and they know what it's like to be in situations like this. They're not going to get rattled. But when you go down, you're wounded a little bit, especially if you're a champion like they are. And I mean, how wounded animals are, wounded people when they're fighting. Their desperation increases. Their intensity increases, and so they don't want to go down 2-0 or 0-2, however you want to have 0-2. I think they don't want to do that, obviously, and so that they're in their minds. They're going to try to rise to what they are, which is, the reigning NBA champions.
Coach, for you, probably better than most that there's no surefire way to kind of slow down Steph.
Right.
So what are some of the things you're telling your guys to make life difficult for him?
That's it right there. Just try as best you can to make the game where he has to work, because you're not stopping him. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. He changed the game of basketball, and so we're going to try to throw different looks at him, and whoever's guarding him, try like heck to give your best effort, and try not to foul as best you can, because he's fantastic at drawing fouls, especially when shooting threes, and we'll just have to live with the results.
Mike, James Ham, ESPN 1320. You're in a chess match here with Steve. Is there anyone that you would rather be in that match with, especially after spending the last 6 years together and being so close in your time in Golden State?
Yeah. So my partner, her daughter plays for the 8th grade girls team at Rolling Hills. I'd rather be in a chess match with her coach out in Rolling Hills, El Dorado, than Steve Kerr. Other than that, it is what it is. We gotta try to figure it out, just like he's got to figure it out. It's obviously great fun. Trying to compete at the highest level with the reigning NBA champions, and Steve is first ballot Hall of Famer. So you can, if you're a competitor, you couldn't ask for anything different or better than the situation that we're in right now, so we can see what we're made of.
Mike, at some point throughout the series.
That's no knock to the 8th grade girls team at Rolling Hills too. So she's a great coach. The great coach. They made the playoffs.
Mike, at some point, either tonight or later on in this series, Andrew Wiggins is going to take on a more prominent role. How does that change the complexion of the series from your standpoint?
I've said before, he was the unsung hero for us in our run last year. His ability to guard multiple people, his ability to score the ball, shoot the three, but most importantly, his ability to offensive rebound was just huge. And all those things get magnified, by 30, 40, 50, whatever it is, the longer that he's out on the floor. So we just have to make sure we try to do the best we can and hindering him from getting offensive rebounds and putbacks and dagger threes, because he can change the tide of a series if he gets loose.
Mike, Jake from CBS 13. Keegan Murray, only 16 minutes in Game 1. What would you like to see from him in Game 2, specifically on the defensive end?
He just has to be aggressive. Obviously, I said this before. I don't think, and I might be wrong, but I don't know if there's anybody that was drafted around him that's playing right now, especially the role that he's in. So this is new and for him, and he's done a fantastic job helping us get here. He just has to go out there and let it fly offensively, stay confident, and then defensively, he's going to screw up just like we all are, including myself. And he just has to develop a short memory. You know, the greats have he's not a great yet. He's got a chance maybe, but the great players that I've been around, that's the one thing they all have in common. They have a short memory when it comes to missing shots or missing assignment, but then they try to make it up the next possession, and they stay present while doing that possession after possession. And so that's what he's got to do.
Yeah, Coach Brandon Nunez, Kings Herald. With the way that they were defending Kevin, how important is his ability to then put the ball on the floor and make plays for others from there?
It's important, you know. We're okay with the way that they're defending him because it's creating space for Fox and everybody else. You know, when you face guard, when you top lock, it just opens up the floor that much more. So other guys got to step up. And then when he does break free and we run him off of screens or DHOs, we have to be ready to move the ball if he doesn't get it, because his speed, his ability to create separation, similar to, he's not Steph, he's not Clay, but those guys move well without the ball. And usually when they cut or come off of anything, their gravity creates opportunities for others, and so we have to keep being ready to take advantage of that when he does move, or with the way that they're guarding him.
Coach Chris Alvarez from ABC7 in San Francisco. Good to see you. A couple of weeks ago, the Kings or Twitter put out a tattoo. A fan had a tattoo on their calf of you. I didn't know if you've seen that or if you responded to that, but kind of what does that say about this community that they're wanting to put a tattoo of you on them to say, hey, we're going to make the playoffs, and we made it, and here's Coach Brown on my leg?
Man, yeah, that was interesting. It was an honor. You know, I'm still flabbergasted by it. You know, I wish my partner would have done it. I told her, and she sent me she sent me a tattoo back. Somebody had her name on it. She said, "If you do it first." So, I don't know. It was an honor, and one day I'd like to meet him, but I don't know if I put my mug on anybody's body because it ain't pretty.
Mike, going back to what James was saying about a chess match, when you're thinking to game two, do you try and get out in front of adjustments that you think the Golden State Warriors are going to make, or is that too complicated and you just simplify and focus on adjustments that you want to make?
You do have to try to think of everything, but you don't present it to the guys. You just have to be ready for a couple of things that you may think they're going to do in game two, and try to go to them if need be. But the last thing at this point in time that we'd want to do with our guys is overcomplicate things by giving them 2, 3, 4 adjustments that we're thinking that they may make. We just want them, like I said, if all else fails, bring a level of physicality to the game that you never have before, and play with a pace that you never have before, not just in the full court and a half court. So, we've given them a couple of adjustments. Obviously, we watch some film, but for the most part, we don't want to give them too many things so that they start thinking or hesitating out on the floor.
Hey, Mike, Chris Tavares, Fox 40. Given the Warriors' record of 27 straight series, winning at least one road playoff game, their record after losses in the playoffs, what's your message about defending home court tonight?
It's the same as game one. I mean, they're the NBA champions. They've been through everything that you can imagine. And, I've said this to our guys on multiple occasions going into this series. It's like boxing or the UFC. I love the UFC. I hope that doesn't gross a lot of people out, but I love MMA. And, when you watch the championship fights, you have to go take the belt from the champion. You're not outpointing anybody. So, we might as well take our jabs and throw them things out the window and just keep throwing haymakers, because it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be hard, and we have to embrace that and go do it if we expect to get where we want to go.
Mike, Sam Amick, The Athletic, over here, buddy. You guys win
Timmy,
game
what's up,
one, I
Timmy?
think everybody assumes you're happy, but there's been a bunch of nights this year when even in a win, you were kind of pissed off. I wonder for you just overall, what was the satisfaction level after game one when you looked at the tape?
Well, Sam, you're going to have to ask that question again, because I said, what's up to Timmy, but he looked like he's asleep.
Yeah.
Because we were neighbors at the Madrone, so
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, the building okay?
Okay, yeah, miss you, but
Okay, well, we'll be back.
And y'all bougie, too.
We're gonna
guys
stay
bougie.
there for a couple of nights. So, all right, sorry, go ahead.
Just your satisfaction level game one. Like the win is one thing, and I think everybody assumes coach is happy because you beat the Warriors. But when you look at the tape and you looked overall,
Right.
just satisfaction level with what you guys did.
I tell you, I've learned a lot from a lot of guys. Steve, Bernie Bickerstaff, Rick Carlisle, Tim Gergovich, and obviously Greg Popovich. And one of the things that really, really sticks out in my mind from Pop is, and I don't know if I said this to you guys before, so I apologize if I did, but, during the regular season, that's when you coach your guys and coach your guys hard. You kick their behinds if you can, see how they respond, because you want to test how they respond to adversity. Sometimes you kick the whole group's behind, sometimes you kick one guy's behind, and you hope that they band together and say F you to me and go out there together as a connected group. But he always said, come playoff time, man, you just got to find a way. You got to love your guys, you got to support your guys, and you got to make sure that belief is there. So what that means to me is no matter how we get it done, if we win, I'm going to love them and I'm going to keep it moving to the next game.